Just finalized your divorce here in Texas and need to get your ex's name off the car title? Look, I know you've just been through a completely grueling legal process, and honestly, the very last thing you want to deal with right now is a mountain of paperwork at the county tax office. But this essential guide is packed with absolutely everything you need to know so you can take action today and drive away with total peace of mind. Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here because today we are going to translate all of that complicated TXDMV jargon into a really clear step-by-step roadmap to get that title solely in your name. Okay, let's dive right into this because this is a scenario that trips up so many people. The judge signs the decree, the ink dries, and you think, great, I'm done. But if your name is still legally tethered to a vehicle your ex is driving, you are literally standing in the path of a financial tornado. We're talking about severe ongoing liabilities here. If they run a toll road, you get the bill. If they rack up parking tickets, your name is right there on the hook. So it is absolutely vital that you take the administrative steps to sever this tie. And that is exactly what we're going to solve today. So here's our quick agenda for the explainer today. First, why update your title? Second, gathering essential documents. Third, the step-by-step process. Fourth, navigating uncooperative exes. Fifth, tackling car loans and liens. And finally, six, fees, forms, and final steps. Let's get to it. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, why update your title? The stakes of shared ownership. And let me tell you, the stakes of shared ownership are incredibly high. Leaving an ex-spouse on your vehicle's title, or vice versa, leaves you totally exposed to ruined credit and just massive legal headaches. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we need to bust some legal jargon right out of the gate. There is a huge difference between a title and a loan. A car title? Well, that represents your state-recognized ownership interest. It's basically Texas saying, yes, you own this car. A car loan, on the other hand, is a bilateral contract with a financial institution. So here's the reality check. A Texas family court absolutely has the jurisdiction to award a vehicle to you in a divorce, but that judge lacks the power to unilaterally alter a third-party lender's contract. You basically have to handle the state administration and the financial contract as two totally separate puzzle pieces. Moving right along to Section 2, gathering essential documents, preparing for the TXDMV. So the crucial point here is preparation. Before you even think about driving down to the county tax assessor collector's office, you've got to have your paperwork in perfect order. Texas has incredibly strict standards, and showing up unprepared just means a long wait in line, only to be sent right back home. So here is your ultimate checklist. You're going to need the original physical car title, the completed Form 130-U, which is the application for Texas title, a certified copy of your divorce decree, proof of valid Texas insurance in your name, a valid government ID, and an exact odometer disclosure. Now, a really quick warning on that last one. Texas law mandates precise odometer disclosures in whole numbers for any vehicle under 20 years old, so specifically model years 2011 and newer. Both spouses must sign and acknowledge this exact mileage. Fudging the numbers? Yeah, that's a state and federal offense that will immediately halt your transfer, so don't do it. Okay, Section 3, the step-by-step process, from decree to the county tax office. This section brilliantly illustrates the exact path you take from sitting at a judge's desk to finally driving away with a clean title in your glove box. First up, you finalize the divorce decree. Second, the relinquishing spouse signs the back of the original title right there in the assignment of title section. Third, you complete that Form 130U we talked about, making absolutely sure your name matches your ID and decree exactly. And fourth, you submit the whole shebang to the county tax assessor. Now, listen closely to this because here is a massive gotcha warning. Never under any circumstances use whiteout, scribbles, or erasures on a Texas car title. If you make a clerical error while signing, actually, just stop. Don't try to fix it. The state will immediately void the title if they see whiteout. Instead, you'll have to execute a notarized statement of fact detailing the error. Bottom line, keep it clean, keep it accurate. Which brings us to Section 4, navigating uncooperative exes, when you can't get a signature. And look, I completely validate your frustration here. It is incredibly common to have an ex who simply won't, or maybe just can't, sign the back of that physical paper title. The good news is Texas law actually provides a workaround for this. If your ex is cooperative, great. You just need that original paper title signed on the reverse side. But if they are uncooperative, your certified divorce decree actually acts as a legal substitute for their signature. However, and this is a really big however, the decree must explicitly award the vehicle to you and list the exact
17-character vehicle identification number, or VIN. If there is even a single typo in that VIN on the court document, the tax office will reject it to prevent fraud, and you'll literally have to go back to family court to get the decree corrected.
Now, keep in mind there is a strict limit to this rule. A Texas divorce decree cannot magically bypass the laws of another state. If your car is registered with an out-of-state title, the whole decree trick won't work. You absolutely must have the original negotiable out-of-state paper title. Plus, you'll have to get a Texas safety and emissions inspection and a form of VTR 68A, which is a physical VIN verification done by a trained auto theft investigator. So, a few extra hoops to jump through there. All right, Section 5, Tackling Car Loans and Liens, Clearing the Encumbrance. Now, what's really interesting about this section is that it's often the biggest hurdle for most people. An active lien completely blocks a title transfer in Texas. The state database simply will not let you remove a name if a lender still has a recorded financial interest in that vehicle.
So if the loan is paid off, you just need a release form. Simple enough. But if it's active, you have to deal with the debt. And please hear me out on this. Avoid what we call simple assumptions. A simple assumption is when you privately promise your ex, hey, I'll keep making the payments, but you never actually notify the bank. This is incredibly dangerous. It leaves both of you jointly and severally liable. If one person misses a payment, both of your credit scores tank, and the lender can absolutely repossess the car. To do this right, you must formally refinance the vehicle in your name alone or get a lender-approved novation, which is just a formal loan assumption where the bank actually runs your credit and legally rewrites the contract. Now, what if you have paid off the loan? You're going to need Form VTR 266, the release of lien. But look at this strict rules straight from the text DMV. Photocopies, scans, faxes, and emails are not acceptable. The state strictly requires original wet signatures on that Form VTR 266 or on official lender letterhead. They do this to prevent fraud, obviously, so do not bring a printed out email from your bank. They'll just reject it at the counter. Okay, home stretch. Section 6, Fees, Forms, and Final Steps. Crossing the finish line. You've got your decree, your properly signed title, or your perfect VIN match. Your 130U is filled out, and your lien is either released or refinanced. So what exactly happens when you step up to the register at the county tax office? Let's break down the actual costs. A standard title transfer fee will run you somewhere between $28 and $33, depending on your specific county. Travis County, for example, is slightly higher at $35.50 because of a local filing fee. But pay super close attention to that bottom row. You have exactly 30 days from the date the judge signs your decree or the date your ex signs the title to take action. On day 31, the state slaps you with a $25 late penalty, and that stacks every single 30 days up to a $250 maximum. Do not procrastinate on this, guys. Also, pro tip, be sure to check your specific county tax office website beforehand to see if they accept credit cards or if you need to bring a paper check. And speaking of pro tips, get ready for a massive financial relief tip. Normally, Texas charges a 6.25% motor vehicle sales tax on vehicle transfers. Ouch, right? But if this transfer is a court-ordered division of community property due to a divorce, the Texas Comptroller completely waives both the sales tax and the gift tax. You just have to make absolutely sure you check the community property exemption box in the tax computation section of Form 130-U. That little checkmark alone can literally save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Now, just a really quick word for the spouse who is giving up the car. You absolutely must file Form VTR-346, the Texas Motor Vehicle Transfer Notification. Remember those tolls and parking tickets we talked about at the very beginning? Submitting this form within 30 days puts a permanent notation on the title record that legally severs your liability. You can even do it online for free. Seriously, do it the very same day a car changes hands, just to protect yourself. Before we completely wrap up, just a quick disclaimer. This explainer is intended for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal or financial advice. Family law and lending contracts can get incredibly complex. So please, consult with a qualified attorney or financial professional for personalized guidance on your exact situation. So there you have it. You now have the complete step-by-step roadmap to navigate the TXDMV and finally untangle your vehicle title after a Texas divorce. Knowledge truly is power, and by taking these steps, you are protecting your credit, your liability, and your future. If you found this comprehensive guide helpful, please share it with anyone who might be going through the exact same stressful process right now. I'll leave you with this final thought. Will your past financial ties hold the keys to your future, or are you ready to take action, take the wheel, and drive away with true peace of mind?
Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.